So, today, I want to talk about a slightly odd subject, but I think it's a massively important subject that gets overlooked, and that is why radio is still important in a musician's career. The main reason is exposure. If you can get played on radio, you have massive exposure. You don't actually think about it, but where do people listen to radio the most? And why are these reasons that they listen to radio the most? And that is, the main reason where these people are listening to radio the most. And that is in their cars. You hear it in hairdressers, local shops. Most workmen that I know on building sites carry a site radio, so there's always a radio playing in building sites. Now, this gives people new exposure to your music. If you can get played on, shall we say, local radio or such, and building up and get into it, gives you massive exposure. Now, when I say local radio, is if you can get on your local radio, smaller station, it builds the knowledge and audience and your experience in the sense of, okay, when I go to this next radio station, which is a bigger radio station, I can go, look, I've been played on this radio station. Here is evidence that I should be played on your radio station. And then so on and so on, and build it up to larger radio stations. Now, you don't actually have to go to these radio stations individually. Like, okay, they listen to radio as well. Now, they'll be listening to their competitors as well. So, they might go, oh, this piece of work's cool, we should bring this on our show, and then put it forward. Now, there's different ways of going about getting the music on the radio. And at a smaller level, you may not be able to afford it, but at a large level, most bands will have a plugger. A plugger's job is to literally get an artist's work played on the radio. So, I'll cover their role and that in the future, because I met a couple of the guys and they've explained to me like their job, and literally we've been sat there for hours talking about it. So, it's really quite a complicated job in a sense, and it's changed as time has gone on. But back to the point of why radio is still important. You have that audience there listening to music in their cars, in their workplaces, in the high street, and it gives you instant access to them. By your work being played on the radio, it gives you instant access to them. As in the past, before we have modern applications now like Shazam, you don't always know what that song is, and if you got someone's listening and goes, oh, I like this, they can now Shazam it on their phone. Instantly tells them who you guys are, what the song is, and it gives them access to your repertoire. So radio is still massively important in exposure of bands and artists. Next is it's another income source. Every time your song gets played on the radio, you get money from your royalties. Imagine you get a Radio 1 play. Now, you're not just getting a Radio 1 play, you're getting every single local BBC radio station probably picking up on your work too. So for that one play you get on Radio 1, you're also getting a backlash coming from that, maybe another 10, 20 plays. Now, if one's £5, you just earn, you're saying one radio play is £5, should we say, and you just had 20 of them, that's £100 there. Now, odds are you're not going to get played once. You're going to get played like 5 or 6 times a day, maybe on each of these radio stations. So you go from £100 to £500, £600, and then that's not just that. It's probably that week as well. So you're probably going to get it every day for that week. And let's say it's 5 days a week, so suddenly 5 times the 500, that's £2.5 grand for that week. Now, You're not just going to get it on the BBC ones, you're also going to get other radio stations as well. So again, every single time it mounts up. And your song literally might be on there, even if it's played once a day, might be on there for a month or 2 months. Imagine what these big artists are getting from their royalties just being played on the radio. Now we get songs played on the radio from like 20 years back. And the reason is, it's nostalgia. And that's the audience listening to it. So you're not just creating a piece of work that's relevant for now and going to earn you money now. It's going to earn you money 20 years, 30 years, 50 years down the line. It's there to earn you money as retirement. So radio is massively important because of the exposure it gives you. It also gives you another source of income. So where most people you would think are listening to Spotify, some shops are on Spotify, there's plenty of businesses such as little cafes, people in their cars, all listen to radio. Now, the other side to that is, shall we say your local hairdressers you go to plays a radio. Now for them playing the radio, they pay a PRS licence. So again, because they're paying a PRS licence, you're getting more money for that as well. So it mounts up and mounts up. So for one radio play, you're picking up PRS licences around the country, possibly. So radio still is a massive point in growing your audience. Which is why it's important that you should do a radio edit, which I will cover in a future video. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I guess ring that notification bell if you want to get notifications about my videos. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.